Make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night. Make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night. Cry like an anime fan on prom night. Cry like an anime fan on prom night. Cry like an anime fan on prom night.
It would appear that Payday 2's controversial microtransactions are gone. Yes, I gave them a lot of shit last year, I think it was last year, when Payday 2 put in a load of microtransactions. Despite being a really, really good game, it was a real letdown, a real disappointment that they decided to go the fee-to-pay route. But Starbreeze has acquired the game from the original publisher, 505, and just decided to wipe them out. They're gone. No more of that bollocks. Now, I'm not saying I had anything to do with it, okay? Now, I'm sure many people think I did. I can just imagine people saying, "Oh, Jim, how did you convince them to drop it? Oh, Jim, thank you. Thank you so much for making the game industry a better place." And people, you're making me blush. It's a bit embarrassing to have you all probably credit me for doing this. Let's just take it as read that I probably did have something huge to do with it and move on. Let's not make this about me, okay? It is about me, but let's have a bit more decorum than that and make it about them. It's not about me, even though it is.
Make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
To say people are excited for Battlefield 1 is to put it very, very bloody lightly. Dumping the modern warfare setting that mercilessly saturated the FPS market last generation, the new Battlefield takes us back in time to World War I, and the sheer refreshment that offers is palpable. While Call of Duty flails in its attempts to moderately evolve its tired-as-fuck formula in a risk-free environment, Battlefield's throwing of caution to the wind is nothing short of a relief. The market has demonstrated, as the market often does, its interest in something fresh and exciting. Battlefield 1's teaser trailer became the most liked video trailer in YouTube history, which is an incredible feat. As I say this, the trailer has a staggering 1,811,918 likes to a comparatively paltry 32,657 dislikes, and by the time this goes out, that number will have changed significantly. This makes the video more liked than the initial trailers for fucking Star Wars Episode 7. The comparatively humdrum and unexciting Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer has enjoyed an opposite effect, one of the most disliked trailers ever. It currently boasts 2,780,680 dislikes to 439,822 likes. The only way it could have been more detested would be if it contained a Clash of Kings sponsored tutorial. So Battlefield 1 has people excited and is easily the most talked about and anticipated Battlefield game in years. And Electronic Arts didn't want it to happen. EA Studios boss Patrick Soderlund, by his own admission, initially rejected the pitch for a Battlefield game set in World War I. He thought trench warfare would be boring, unaware that the scope and variety of combat seen during the Great War was a shitload more varied than that. Soderlund wasn't the only skeptic pushing back against the idea either. Recently, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen said there was some debate about whether or not Battlefield 1 could appeal because, and I quote, "We were worried that many of the younger consumers out there didn't know there was a World War II or Vietnam." Basically, EA thought kids were thick and uneducated and didn't know about history as recent as Vietnam, so would have absolutely no concept of what World War I was. I mean, the logic being employed here is baffling for a number of reasons. First of all, if EA's idea of children are too uninformed to know massive historical events, why would they care any more about the current conflicts portrayed in Battlefield's previous installments? Even if they didn't know or care about the setting, what would it matter? I doubt many of them are playing any shooter for the history or narrative setting. They're just there to kill shit and they're none too fussed about where they're doing it. Third, and perhaps most damningly, why exactly is EA concerned about what children think of their M-rated game series? Did Electronic Arts just admit it targets children with games that the ESRB have rated for adults? Naughty, naughty fuckers. Anyway, the reasons for skepticism were imbecilic, patronising, and in hindsight totally off base. But it's worrying to think that EA's invented and conjured up doubts almost stopped the most interesting thing to happen to Battlefield in years from actually happening. With no demonstrable facts backing them up, with only assumptions guiding their beliefs, with historical ignorance giving them the wrong impressions of the game, EA's executives tried to put the kibosh on Battlefield 1. It's an alarming situation that perfectly highlights a major problem in the AAA industry. Executives with no fucking clue about anything, calling all the shots and making creative decisions that can kill projects audiences are salivating for, all because they believe audiences don't want them. This is far from the first time it's happened. Demon's Souls, for example, was snubbed by Sony, who didn't want to publish the game outside of Japan. Atlus picked the game up instead, and it became a cult success in the West, leading to Namco Bandai snapping up the rights to publish the ridiculously popular follow-up series Dark Souls. According to French developer Don't Nod, Life is Strange faced plenty of resistance from major publishers who weren't interested in an adventure game starring a girl. After Square Enix was convinced to pick it up, it became a critical darling and a successful commercial venture, because these skeptical publishers don't know dicking shit about anything, it would seem. And it's not just game publishers either. One of Russia's most successful albums, 2112, was also one that record labels dismissed as unviable, and the multimedia powerhouse that is Harry Potter was sneered at by many publishing houses who didn't think it could sell a damn copy. Entertainment is full of examples of successful productions that were ignored or shot down by those in charge who thought they knew better. Through luck and determination, this media found its way into the public eye and was judged worthy by the market, but they could so easily have never seen the light of day. It makes you wonder what new, exciting and original productions, what potential future institutions will never ever be seen by us, because some executive somewhere decided for us that we didn't want it. I'm reminded of the fate of survival horror games last generation, how they disappeared from the AAA space amid spokespeople saying they weren't popular, all with no fucking evidence to back up such beliefs. It was just arbitrarily decided for us that we didn't like horror games anymore, and it took a resurgence of indie horrors and YouTube virality to prove the fuckers wrong, as the Amnesias and Outlasts of the world swept in to serve a market that was being totally ignored. I'm reminded of multiple claims from various executives that nobody wanted linear, single-player games anymore, claims that were being made even as titles like Bioshock and Dishonored proved highly successful and profitable. I'm reminded of how colourful and energetic games like Overstrike were turned into dour and drab cover shooters like Fuse because executives decided for us, on our bloody behalf, that we all liked our games moody and covered in bitter vinegar. It makes me wonder how market researchers have gotten to either keep their fucking jobs in the games industry, as much as they've proven they don't know diddly dick about the market. Executives talk like they know shit, presenting their insight into audience desires as cold, hard fact, but rarely do they ever provide numbers to back it up. When they say something like single-player games don't sell or strategy games aren't popular anymore, they're really just pulling total fluff out of their fucking asses, as evidenced time and time again when the very audience they're speaking for proves them wrong. We can laugh about how stupid it is that EA almost nixed Battlefield 1 because they think children don't know what World War I is, and it is amusingly stupid, but it's also a sad reflection of the ignorant and arrogantly presumptuous conjecture that rules the AAA game industry. None of those fucks pulling the triggers and signing the checks know what they're actually talking about. If they did, games like Battlefield 1 wouldn't have to fight to exist. Battlefield 1 is the first Battlefield game since the military shooter onslaught of last gen to truly have my attention. I actually care about Battlefield now, and it seems to be just the shot in the arm for the series and for shooters in general that people desired, given the overwhelmingly positive reaction. That's wonderful, it's encouraging, and it's something I'd love to see more of. But never forget, no matter how well this game performs, how well it reviews, how long it lasts, EA thought you didn't want it, and they thought your kids are thick, and this is how far too many game industry executives feel about everything even slightly fucking interesting. By and large, game industry executives are fucking idiots. And they're the brains behind this fucking medium.
Here's a TV that looks like an
anime fan on prom night.
I've long held the belief that the true key to success is finding people more talented than you are and working with them and using their talents to further your own glorious vision. Now, that's proven difficult for a man such as myself, with such burgeoning talent that he is unmatched by god and mortal alike. But after searching high and low, I believe I found people who are a bit better than me at certain things. Hence, we have our new intro by Justin, which is fantastic, and also new backing music by Carl Catron, who did the saxophone cover of Born Depressed that I use sometimes. They've got the new backing track, which they've called March of the Sterling Jester, and you can buy that. I said, you know, as well as commissioning it, I like to let the artists sell their work as well, so you can go on Bandcamp, and there'll be a link in the description if you like the tune and want to purchase it yourself. Do support him. Incredibly talented man, almost as talented as me, but of course I am the one-man renaissance, so that's gonna be an unfair comparison. So yeah, thanks to Justin and Carl for putting that stuff together, and of course, thank God for me.
Make the bad guys cry like a
ninja block.
Oh yeah, you didn't think we'd be done with this episode without that getting mentioned, did you? It's time for Fuck Konami News, all the news that's fit to make you say, fuck Konami. There's a new Metal Gear Solid game on the loose. There's a new Metal Gear Solid game. People were really excited because new Fox Engine stuff's happening, new Metal Gear Solid graphics are happening. What could this new game be? Let's look at a trailer now.
気を抜くんじゃない。あくまでも実践だ。分かってる。で、その記念すべきミッションの内容はシャゴホッドの開発状況の調査、破壊、そしてザボスの抹殺。ザボスの抹殺。スネーク、やるしかないんだ。わかるな。彼女は敵だ。敵？10年も一緒にいた。ザボスが敵だと。
待っていたわ、スネーク。ずっとあなたの誕生。
Of course, it's more Pachinko. I called it, didn't I call it? Remember in one of these fucking segments I said a Metal Gear Pachinko machine's coming next. Of course, that's not a huge prediction. Anybody could have looked at where Konami was going in its line of things it's going to ghostly exploit and see that Metal Gear Solid was on the chopping block. But I love that this is Konami, of course. And even when you expect Konami to do something shit, Konami still goes out of its way to do something that'll piss all over its legacy and just annoy people even more. Because it's not just a Metal Gear Solid Pachinko machine. Oh no, it's a Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Pachinko machine. Let's get the most beloved one, the most meaningful one, and turn that into a glorified gambling box. They could have picked any Metal Gear Solid game, the more recent one, tie it in with the game that's just came out, but no, let's go for that one. Let's really tarnish some legacies. Now, of course, it's a Pachinko machine, it doesn't take away from the existing games, I know that, but goddamn Konami, you are just the worst. It seems calculated to make them look as pathetic and grasping as possible. Konami, you're the pits! Fuck you! Anyway, that's that news. Fucking Konami.
Life's good when you're an
anime fan on prom night.